What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some more news concerning Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie Malignaggi has some interesting things to say about Errol Spence, Conor McGregor, and Deontay Wilder. He broke down the Errol Spence fight. He basically said Errol Spence showed them he was a better boxer, and showed him that it wasn't all about the physicality of that. However, he did state there were times when Errol Spence did show that he was the bigger guy, but he wanted to show Mikey Garcia his true boxing ability, which is understandable because that's one of the things I believe he did, but he said he won a pretty good fight. However, he did move on to Conor McGregor and what he felt about McGregor. And he just simply said McGregor should be more appreciative to his fans. There has to be a level of decency and respect for other people because those are the people that feed you. Those are the people, they're the reasons that you are who you are. So he used himself as an example and stated that, oh, hey, even guys will come up and give a selfie or whatnot, but that don't give me the right to slap the stuff out of the hand and break their phone and take it with them. He went on to say that, hey, maybe if you kiss his ass enough, maybe he might feel superior over you and then he'll give you a picture. But if you're a regular dude and you snap a picture with a selfie, he might get pissed off and smash it like he did with the British fellow that he destroyed his phone or whatever. So, he also threw this in here, knowing Paulie. He was like, well, people need to understand, our people should be finally understanding that what a real piece of shit McGregor is. Of course, Paulie made this comment because, they had beef. Actually, Paulie was actually in talks of fighting Conor McGregor in a bout of some sort, but they asked Paulie, Paulie was his sparring partner, and, and he kind of roughed up Paulie a little bit, and he showed segments of him, beating up Paulie or whatever in that last portion of that sparring session. So, Paulie's really, he has a bad taste in his mouth for McGregor. So, knowing that backstory, right, they asked him if McGregor would ever box again. He said, well, I don't know, I guess. McGregor's no different than a prostitute. You can beat him up, do whatever you want to, as long as you pay him enough money. You know what I mean? So basically, he called Conor McGregor a whore that you can wear out and throw away as long as you pay. I thought that was funny or whatnot. But, they finally got around to ask him about the Deontay Wilder $1 million offer. And he said something quite interesting I want to share with you guys. He said that it's not really necessarily in Deontay's case that the money. It's not always about money, especially when you're dealing with platforms and you come from a network that you have got accustomed to, or you have, formed an alliance with over the years, and leaving that network. It's kind of like biting the hand that fed you, or, if upon leaving that, you're going to have to give up a lot, meaning like home team advantage, protection. And he used that word protection, with Deontay Wilder versus if he would have went to the Zone, he would have been just a regular fighter that signed to the Zone, not the top fighter like he is at Showtime. So he's the top heavyweight at Showtime, because you really don't have anybody left at Showtime. You know what I mean? Fury went to ESPN. Wilder's the only one claiming his loyalty to Showtime. And when he said that, that kind of made me scratch my head. Like, okay, he's trying to use this as a bargaining chip. You know what I'm saying? To stay where he's comfortable at. Think about it. If the Fury Wilder 1 fight was on ESPN or the Zone, do you think the outcome would have been the same? meaning scorecards and stuff like that. That's what you ask yourself in reference to what Paulie was talking about. Because what Paulie was talking about is simply like, okay, he mentioned the $50 million for Joshua too. And he was like, well, it's not about that. It's about giving up a certain ground from each network that you're loyal to. There's barriers you don't want to cross in order to, stay comfortable where you're accustomed to, and he said that's what Deontay Wilder was doing along with Anthony Joshua with the $50 million offer. Okay. So those barriers are kind of one of those things you don't want to cross, when it comes to even getting paid, So basically, that's what it was. He also said something very interesting with opposed to Deontay Wilder feeling he's the best heavyweight. Well, Paulie said something very interesting. He said, well, you would think that you're the best heavyweight. You're biased about yourself if you have confidence in yourself. You're automatically biased because you believe that you're better than everyone. That's the attitude you have to have having a fighter. So a fighter himself is biased because he has to have confidence in himself that thinks he's the best. So when someone asks him, well, are you the best heavyweight? Doesn't matter what he did in his career, right? Especially if you haven't fought that person. He's going to think himself as the best fighter around. So that made perfect sense. Perfect sense to me what Paulie said. And I like how he expressed and explained it. Like, yeah, Deontay Wilder's supposed to think he's the best. Anthony Joshua's supposed to think he's the best. Tyson Fury's supposed to think he's the best. Because these guys, they haven't never been beat as professionals, so they haven't had a mark, or should I say a loss, right, on their record. So who's to say and who's to tell them if nothing has been proven that who's better than who? So they're all supposed to think that I'm better than this person, unless there's something in the self-esteem area that no one wants to talk about. But if that's the case, you shouldn't even be fighting anyway if you don't think you're the best. Or if you truly don't think you're the best, that's probably why you're not taking particular fights. I had to counterpunch that. You know what I mean? Because that, you can talk all day long. You can say what you wanted to say about yourself. You can have the confidence explaining to someone that you are better than everyone else. But at the end of the day, if you don't show people that you want to shock the world, how do we know that you're the best? But back to Paulie, not just me counterpunching, but back to Paulie. I think Paulie had some valid key points in that interview, and I wanted to share it with you guys. You guys tell me what you think about Paulie's interview. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.